Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Thursday, April 27th, 2023, 3:15 p.m. Eastern. We'll be having a time for change call tomorrow night at around 9 p.m. Eastern. It's not easy to find happiness in ourselves and impossible to find it elsewhere. Agnes Repplier. What if our main job in this life was to become so ridiculously happy that we contagiously made everyone else feel good by just hanging around? If this was our proposal in this life, how would we start our day? What would we begin thinking about the moment we were awake? What would be the most important thing we started doing that made us feel lighter, freer, alive with life? When you choose an approach to this life that is brimming with reverence for yourself, gratitude for life, you'll notice some wonderful side benefits arise. You will magically start manifesting all sorts of abundant opportunities, experiences, and people. You become a powerful manifesting magnet because everyone wants to know the secret practices you're doing before breakfast. When you're in perpetual appreciation, you'll see almost everyone go out of their way just to be in your bubbly presence. By choosing to be authentically grateful for anything in your life, you will become absorbed by the deeper permanent river of perpetual happiness. This enlightened state is not about covering up, repressing, avoiding, or fixing any contracted emotions like sadness, frustration, guilt, desperation, and fear. They will always be there for you, waiting on that lower bandwidth when your life needs a deeper dimension of compassion and emotional depth. When they arrive, it's essential that you learn to appreciate them as well and welcome them in. Everlasting real happiness is a process of integrating the darkness of your mind with the lightness of your spiritual essence. From this whole space, you can feel happiness in your natural state because we are so relaxed about everything. Whatever arises, you are constantly welcoming the experience, allowing the negativity to merge with the positivity and discovering real inner peace inside. It is a choice that you can make no matter what is occurring in your outer world. You can welcome the darkness into the lightness and look for the real, deep, eternal love that is hidden in deep disguise. In every moment, you always have the option to appreciate something about yourself, the world, or someone else. You can train your brain to see if the glass is half empty or half full. Whatever you have or don't have in this life does not have to determine your current state of happiness. You can simply choose to relax, stop demanding that life be something other than what it already is, and be at peace with what is for no reason at all. Just because you are still alive and have the opportunity to love, this is enough. Be a dynamo of irrepressible joy. Be happy, Babaji. Happiness comes from opening yourself to life and choosing to take the risk to grow and expand instead of contracting and remaining small. It involves getting in touch with the energy inside your body that is flowing. The heart is still beating the blood, still pumping. The breath still inhaling and exhaling. And take a moment to experience this. Now, the longer you can enjoy it, the more you'll create a highly conscious and alive state. Now, many of us, believe it or not, some of us are more alive than others. And this is something that's been going on this planet for a while. But it's never really talked about. Some of us are more alive than others. In other words, we expand more energy. And we're talking about the body. Some bodies are more dead than alive. But you wouldn't know that. And nor does the person with that body know that. But some bodies are more dead than alive. And you come across people, and you kind of get that feeling that, man, they don't have much life to them. You ever done that? Have you ever come across somebody and it just kind of came over you where you go, they don't seem to have much life to them? And this has actually been experimented with, where you have other life forms like parasites and stuff that might be in one body, and they come across another body that has more life in it, life energy, and gravity will leave the one body that has lower life energy and enter the other body that has more life energy. So there are those of us who are more dead than alive, and others more alive than dead. Now you understand the body, okay, and the body is dying. So that makes a lot of sense. So if the body's dying, how much life is left in that body? And some just don't recognize the fact that not much. And why is that? Why does that happen? Because they're so disconnected with their God they are in that body. They're completely lost. They're in a void, so to speak. And they believe all the truths, right? All the truths are the truths, when in reality all the truths are the lies. Have you ever hugged somebody? It doesn't have to be someone you know, okay? Maybe you choose someone you know or some acquaintance, right? And they act like they're almost dead. You ever done that? You know, you're enthusiastic, you hug them, and their hands and arms are down by their sides, and they're very unresponsive. And you can sense and feel that their life energy is very low. Now, the God within them is vibrant. But the body, because of their disconnection, low energy. Or when you shake someone's hand, and it feels like you're shaking the hand of a dead person. No emotion, no enthusiasm in the touch of the hand to hand at all. It's like a wet noodle. Very insincere, very low energy, low frequency. And we come across that. And a lot of times we just don't, we don't probe it, and we don't go in from a creative perspective Just by breathing, you can feel so alive and realize you are living inside a very amazing manifesting vehicle that has the natural born power to attract and manifest anything you desire. Now, this is something to get really happy about. It is proven that your thoughts create your reality. If you can choose to think only about what you want and never think about what you do not want, you'll manifest everything your heart ever dreamed of since childhood. But see, what we do is we don't do that. We flip-flop. We focus on things we want and we focus on things we don't want. And unfortunately, the majority of the time, we focus on things we don't want. So you're not going to get what you want because you're focused on things you don't want. Some people will say they don't want a lot of money, thinking that by doing that, they'll get an opposite reaction and get a lot of money. Believe it or not. Okay? That's kind of like trying to trick the universe. It doesn't work. Manifesting your dream life all boils down to where you are placing your attention in each moment. What are you focusing on? Notice the first thought you start to think about in the morning. The very moment you realize you are awake. Is the choice maker alive inside you to choose any thought you wish? I highly suggest you practice noticing what you're focusing on for those first 3 minutes you are awake every morning this week. Just see for yourself where the mind tends to go and see if you can bring the mind to appreciate yourself just as you are. Notice the deep love inside you, the sweet being who is worthy of receiving an abundance of love, cuddles, and gratitude from the community around you. Act happy, feel happy, be happy without a reason in the world. Then you can love and do what you will. Dan Millman. If and when you're having trouble finding even a glimmer of joy inside of you, then regress back in time to the greatest experiences of happiness you can remember having in your life. Replay those past moments in your imagination. Feel what that time in your life was like as if it was happening to you right now. This is the great happiness secret. Perhaps when you were a child, you were simply running outside on the warm summer grass or playing in the sandbox with the sun shining on your back. Imagine you're feeling the healing warmth of the sun and feel the soft sand between your toes. Whatever happy memories you can find, let yourself bathe in these joyful times that are forever a part of you. Every child has at least one happy memory. Be thankful for each of these smiling memories and the good feelings to replay and enjoy. The more you can summon and feel into these happy memories, the more they'll ignite that blazing fire of joy hibernating inside you. Practice daily, and soon you will find your most authentic, liberating expression pouring out into everyone, everywhere you go. Feeling happy simply creates more happiness. Once you're continuously vibrating at this level, this universe will reward you with even more satisfying experiences and people that build into even happier feelings and experiences. Dance when you're broken open. Dance if you've torn the bandage off. Dance in the middle of the fighting. Dance in your blood. Dance when you're perfectly free. Rumi. To find your life mission, start with recognizing that you are a spiritual being living in a material world. Your job is to realize that this truth every day and all day long. Notice how you are the observer of your thoughts. So you cannot be your thoughts. You are the consciousness that is beyond this physical dimension of life. Find the source of your consciousness, and you will be free from all levels of unhappiness forever. Unhappy experiences manifest because the ego is running the show. It is constantly demanding to be satisfied and avoiding being unsatisfied. This game is all about the ego's needs in each moment, where it's secretly attempting to be in control and not trusting in the soul and spiritual being that you are. You don't have to participate in this dramatic game anymore, as the ego will never be satisfied enough. The only thing that truly satisfies is knowing the spiritual truth of who you are, who you truly are. The only thing that truly satisfies is knowing the spiritual truth of who you truly are. You are not a spiritual being. You are a spiritual being. An infinite soul. See, so the ego will say, you're not a spiritual being, but you are a spiritual being. An infinite soul who is much bigger than any thought. You're going to exist even after this body you're in and mind are dead and gone. Who you are is vast, limitless consciousness itself. We use the word God to describe pure consciousness. By simply choosing to see that you are the witness behind all thoughts, you discover that you are already free from them. Then you never demand that life, or your mind has to be a certain way in order for you to be happy. You don't have to improve yourself, become a better person, or figure out any problems in your life to be happier. You can simply stop the mind and realize the truth of who and what you already are. This is enough. And once you remain aware that you are the very source of awareness itself and that your soul will never die, you begin living the most amazing life you could possibly live. As you practice each day, stepping into a greater spiritual experience of realizing the infinite soul you truly are, you stop playing that fear-based game of life and death. You realize that you have an infinite number of lifetimes to get it right and discover the joy of being alive. Once you understand that this is why you are here on earth, you let go of the old unsatisfying game and discover a much more advanced game, the exploration of how true everlasting happiness follows you wherever you go. Life is a mystery to be lived, not a problem to be solved. Ocean. Would you like to know the greatest secret to remaining in a perpetual state of happiness? This is a big one, so ground yourself here. The secret is learning how to trust yourself and this universe so deeply that you can relax fully and remain completely present in this now moment. No matter what activity you are engaged in, simply surrender to it. Perhaps you're doing dishes. Then you'd feel the warm water running over your hands, and enjoy the experience of cleaning the plates. The more present you can be in whatever action you're doing, the more you'll be absorbed by the now moment, which is where all the gold is found. If and when you can remain only in the now, you will discover all the greatest secrets man is searching for around the world. Living each day in the present moment, you find out how easy it is to manifest anything you want in your life. Things simply come to you easily, effortlessly, and even instantly in this physical world. The manifesting is much easier than you have imagined, especially when you are in the now and feeling full of radiant joy. You realize that happiness is your natural state of being, and it is always available in each moment, in each new moment. So it's like everything is your perspective. It's how you perceive things. That's what it's all about. If you perceive things a certain way, that's what you're going to experience. And can you change that? Absolutely. You can change it on the dime. Simply by focusing your attention on what you want. You might be contemplating or just sitting and say, I want a totally peaceful day. From the time I get up in the morning to the time I lay my head on the pillow at night. I want a completely peaceful day. And there's so many things that we can send out and have it come to us that we never run out. Or you can say to yourself, I don't care to have stress anymore. I am divorcing myself of stress. And so when stress comes showing itself, you just kick back and let it flow through you. And you see, we're all on this vast journey while we're in physical form. Enlightenment is the moment when the wave realizes that it is water. Enlightenment is not something that can be given to you. Whatever that has been given to you can also be taken away from you. And you must find this great spiritual liberation within yourself and learn how to cultivate its presence in your life. As you are the master of it all in the end. Your enlightenment is destined to find you in this lifetime or the next. It is on its way. You simply need to get out of the way and understand how to receive it. When the mind stops all searching in the outer for fulfillment and finally comes to relax home in your very core, the realization is discovered that enlightenment was always there. It's just buried deep within your being. We all experience suffering in this life because of one little thing. One little thing. Ignorance. If and when you take the word ignore, add a little dance to it, you get ignorance. When we ignore the truth of our infinite being, our ignorance expands and soon transfers us onto the path of suffering. To transcend our ignorance and find spiritual freedom in your life again, the intention for a deeper awareness is needed. We must choose. We must welcome the most profound state of consciousness we can imagine. But by simply opening up to our own consciousness, we can release anything instantly that would make us suffer. Nothing more than pure awareness is needed to transcend this illusion and rediscover the liberating truth of who we are. Each moment of our lives has the potentiality to become the most liberating, healing, enlightening experience we can handle. Each moment of our lives has the potentiality to become the most liberating, healing, enlightening experience we can handle. The more open, ready, and willing we are to receive something magnificent, the easier and faster the magic comes flooding in. When you are ready for enlightenment, it will find you. You don't have to strive for it. In fact, the harder you work for it, the further it moves away from you. Just make it your priority to totally relax and enjoy your life. So you make it a priority to totally relax and enjoy your life. Fully surrender to your real self. Explore who you truly are, what you really want, and what your purpose on this earth actually is on a spiritual level. Be open to the new and release your ego's need to be right about anything. Be open to the new and release your ego's need to be right about anything. Being right can be the hardest ego trip to get off of, and yet causes a major amount of suffering. If the ego believes it is wrong about any one little thing, it starts feeling insecure. It starts feeling insecure that you basically could be wrong about everything in your entire life. Whatever the mind believes is true. Always becomes our reality in that moment. The colored lens you perceive your world with today becomes how the world tends to appear for you tomorrow. If everyone around you, from birth to death, says that this life is this hard, painful, and unfair experience, and you believe them, then how will you ever learn how to relax, let go, trust, and enjoy living in this amazing universe? If we think that we must fight to get what we want in this life, we end up manifesting a very serious, challenging ride. To experience love, enlightenment, and freedom, we must step over our ego and be open to a completely new experience of life in each moment. Your inner and outer world is one massive playground. Learn how to be free. Have fun with your life. Think of each new day as your chance to step on a very interesting and comical life stage. You can choose any hat to wear. You can choose any hat to wear, any lens to see through, or fascinating role you desire to play. Let go of doing and practice simply being. People have a hard time with this. They believe that they should always be doing something, right? Doaholics. It has become abnormal for people to just relax, sit still, be silent, and alone. You believe that it's become abnormal for people to just relax, sit still, be silent, and alone? Doaholics have become the social norm. Many people avoid meditation because they think it is boring, don't have time for it, or feel they have failed at it, trying to quiet their mind after a few random attempts. When we realize that all of our suffering, chaos, and illness in this life is caused by our inability to quiet the mind, we will spend more time practicing being present and less invested in doing something, thinking it will take us somewhere better than being here. Eventually, with enough time spent practicing being present to the now, we discover our real infinite nature inside. We realize we are spiritual beings and have everything we were looking for and so much more. The greatest mystics in history all discovered enlightenment when they were simply being quiet, relaxed, and fully in the here and now. When their big awakening happened, they were not trying to do anything. When their big awakening happened, they were not trying to do anything. This is the great mystery of this life. And mastery of the mind is by far the greatest achievement mankind can ever have. The experience of being here now, feeling one with the infinite, all-powerful, and omniscient, universal God force is enough. It is empowering and highly enlightening to redefine all those old definitions of what it means to get somewhere special in your life. Being free from our family's unconscious myths and society's deep ignorant programming. When you were a child, what was communicated to you about enlightenment? Anything? Even a smidgen? Did anybody have a clue what enlightenment was or how to experience an enlightened state of bliss? Did anyone ever show you how to open your chakras, meditate, or communicate with God? Most likely, everyone around you was more or less spiritually lost, and then telling you what they believed would make you happy, loved, and successful in this life. If you go back and think about your childhood, what do you remember was the typical standard story you were told, right? That made you feel like a failure, isolated, unloved, or a sense of separation? What belief system did you inherit from your family that created massive limits on how you feel about yourself and life today? You may have heard some messages like, you need an education to become somebody. There just isn't enough time for that. We cannot afford that. You cannot be, do, or have XYZ. You may have heard, such things as messages like, you're never going to amount to anything. Okay? You cannot be, do, or have XYZ. You are too much of a blah, blah, blah. Naturally, we are all very gullible as children. Yet, if we did not become identified with our family's limiting belief system, we may not be here. If we did not become identified with our family's limiting belief system, we may not be here. If we didn't think like they did, they might have stopped feeding us and pushed us out of the tribe. We needed to think small. Do what we were told and obey the one in charge in order to remain accepted, loved, and alive. From the moment we were born, we all received the idea that this unenlightened state of life was the norm. We live in an unenlightened state of this life, and we look at it as the norm. Now, we all have seen all the insane world problems, made up and not, and all the different news sources, and thought that this was how the entire world operated. And mass suffering was just the way things were. As we became teenagers, we either rebelled or became assimilated into the unenlightenment system. Now, the more we accepted or rebelled from our community, the greater our feelings of lack, isolation, and struggle grew inside. Being surrounded by unenlightened people was an enormous lose-lose situation. To make things worse, to make matters worse, we were forced to attend some jail-like educational system, which worked about 3% of our brain's potentiality and was designed to chum and churn once brilliant creative kids through a social formatted grinder so they became hard workers for the system. We were taught wonderful lies that everyone believed to be true, like how a human life expectancy should be 75 to 100 years old. And let's just push that even further. Should be, what? 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 years old, when really your DNA can last at least 300 years, or 1,000, or 2,000, or 3,000. We were told that we would have to work really, really, really hard to have a home. Limited energy, resources, food, knowledge, power. We were never taught to rebel against authority, think freely, independently, or even consider the possibility of becoming spiritually enlightened. The school system made it legal to teach children how to find a deep interconnection with the infinite source. It was not important to learn how to meditate, heal your body through your breath, how to make tantric love, master your mind through total quietness and stillness, enjoy all your emotions, keep the infinite truth of who we are, or how to achieve absolute inner freedom and bliss. The society all around you is still hypnotizing adults and their children to believe that success is all about achieving a higher level of status, money, and career. Our poor education system is still in its infancy and simply has never had a large dose of enlightenment, so it doesn't know any better. There are many awkward beings in the world today who know the truth. That real success in this life is defined by how liberated, spiritually rich, loving, and enlightened you are as a human being. This world is slowly waking up, one person at a time. People are beginning to see that happiness is not something you can attain from striving to achieve the right income status. And I believe that there's a lot of people in this very moment on this planet that are beginning to see that happiness is not something you can attain from striving to achieve the right income status, career, marriage, or diploma. Striving to reach these things will only distract you from walking your spiritual path and discover the most rewarding life experience of them all. Remember, whatever limited ideas that you received from your family or your school system were their limitations, not yours. Whatever limited ideas you received from your family or school system were their limitations and not yours. When you stop and give back those beliefs, you can reclaim your spiritual freedom again within yourself. The limiting beliefs handed down from your family run deep in your blood, and it will take every ounce of awareness inside you to see them. Freedom will occur when they are fully seen, felt into, and released from your mental, emotional body as well as your subconscious mind. Freedom will occur when they are fully seen, felt into, and released from your mental, emotional body as well as your subconscious mind. We must choose to forgive all of these people of their unenlightened programming if we are ever to be fully free. It is all karmic and nobody is to blame. They simply were not taught by their parents how to live in a constant state of wonder and amazement in their lives while doing daily tasks like changing diapers, cutting the grass, going to work, and paying their bills. When we forgive them and see how they were not raised by fully self-realized, self-actualized, enlightened beings, we can easily forgive ourselves for the limiting beliefs and negative feelings about ourselves that we inherited. Be outrageous and stop hiding from your spiritual power in some safe little fishbowl. A lot of people are doing this. We can often hide from our life mission and spiritual purpose in our mind. Thoughts are safe, while real experiences out there seem dangerous, scary, and unsafe. Life is inherently insecure because death is always potentially around the next corner. We might find it easier to not take risks and go for our big dream in this life, for fear of getting hurt or lost in the wild ocean. When we only choose to stay safe, comfy, and basically dead inside our little comfortable fishbowls of old habits, we only do the things that once gave a sense and many people find it easier not to take risks and go for their big dreams in life for fear of getting hurt or lost in the wild ocean. When we only choose to stay safe, comfy, and basically dead inside our little comfortable fishbowls of old habits, we only do the things that once gave us a sense of confidence and security and stop growing completely. Life is this beautiful natural chaos with a divine cosmic structure. Our lives are this daily adventurous roller coaster ride that we need to learn how to enjoy. Life is meant to be fun because we just don't know exactly how things will turn out. Someone says, or how you'll make the most important decision you need to make. Each boring, exciting, or normal experience is meant to expand you, help you see and feel the entire ocean around you now. And yes, jump out of your safe little fishbowl and swim in the ocean of existence. It's easy to do. Simply stop thinking about your life and actually start enjoying the one you're living, feeling, and breathing in the now. Embracing and loving every fear that arises. The less fear we are holding in the body, the more we can relax and open ourselves up to experiencing a more expansive, enlightened state of consciousness. All fears are simply emotionally contracted. They're emotionally contracted thoughts invented by a mind that still believes it is disconnected from the source. It's good to know that the word fear, as we all know, stands for false evidence appearing real. To transcend any fear, first discover what you are deeply afraid of. You can access any fear by opening yourself up to another person intimately in conversation, letting the other peer into you. Soon you will be able to see deeper into yourself and understand exactly what you are running from in your life. Once you know what you are running away from in your life, once you know what you are running away from, run towards it and welcome it into your heart with a big embrace. This approach will dissolve any fear instantly. And in time, it will be completely released from your body. The more practice you have in embracing your fears, the easier it becomes to find total relaxation so that you can access your full spiritual connection within your consciousness. Stop trying to continuously improve or fix yourself. There's a lot of people doing that. This may seem contradictory, yet it's actually complementary. How often do you find yourself trying to replace your negative thoughts and feelings with positive ones? How much of your life has been spent trying to heal yourself or your mind? Is all the effort and energy you're putting into improving actually making you relax into the experience that you are already divine, already sacred, deeply lovable, and already connected to the God source? The result from continuously fixing, improving, and healing yourself is perpetuating the feeling of, I am not okay exactly as I am. And the unconscious and self-improvement habit is just another egoic dis-ease. The real problem is not what it appears to be. Go to the root of the matter. Which is this dualistic mind. And uproot the entire I'm broken and need to be fixed emotional program. Realize that who you are is neither these negative or positive thoughts, yet the consciousness and awareness behind them. Only through pure awareness will you be able to stop the habit of trying to challenge, fix, and improve yourself. And instead of surrendering deeply into the spiritual sacred core of your being, where self-realization is. Do you stop the habit of trying to change, fix, and improve yourself, period. And instead you surrender deeply into the spiritual sacred core of your being, where self-realization is. I join you in meditation, and I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose and an easy and slow breath out of the mouth. Remain still. Life is magical. You are a magical manifesting being. You have the power to manifest anything you want. Release all limitations from your mind today. You can be, do, and have it all. When you surrender to your highest self, you'll see that anything is possible. So what did you want to manifest next week or tomorrow? Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night, and the following morning. We will return here Friday, April 28th, 2023, 3:15 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call, and 9 p.m. Eastern to continue our reverse aging health call. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the deepest, deepest, deepest of eternal gratitude at all times, no matter what's happening in your outer world.